If you're just now joining us in this series, we're going through how to set up your own virtualized networking lab based on Proxmox. What is Proxmox? Proxmox Virtual Environment is a free open source virtualization platform. Basically, it's a system that lets you run and manage virtual machines and containers on a single physical server or across a cluster of servers. In this video, we're working on a single physical server deployed with Proxmox. Proxmox is often compared to VMware ESXi, Hyper-V, or Red Hat virtualization, but it's open source and it's built on top of the Linux ecosystem. Best part about it, it's free. In the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to show you how to onboard two virtual machines, segment them into their own virtual LANs or VLANs, how to configure firewall policy to allow communication between the two, and validate connectivity. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and onboard our other two virtual machines. I've already gone through the process of uploading the installer files for these other two VMs. In the previous video, you can also find the links to download these installers. Since these are already here, we can go ahead and click Create VM. We'll call this our pfSense Firewall. We'll select our installer as the Netgate installer. Leave this the same. We'll give this guy 80 gigs again. So that this is 4 cores. Turn off advanced. And we'll give this 8 gigs of RAM. Like I said in the last video, I like to give a little more resources to my firewall. So we set the bridge as the default VMBR0, so bridge 0. This is our default bridge interface. Start after created. And then we'll do the same thing here. So we'll call this Kali. We'll set it as Kali Linux. Next, give this guy 60 gigs. We'll call this 4. And because we have the memory, we can do 8 here as well. We can see here that we have all 3 of our VMs listed on the left side. We have the green triangle, meaning that these guys are running. Before we go into configuring our firewall, we want to go ahead and add a secondary network interface. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to navigate to my server name and then system network. And I'm going to click create. So we see multiple different interface types here. The main ones we want to focus on is the bridge interface. So here we have Linux bridge, we have OVS bridge. When we look at the two interface types, so Linux bridge is typically used for layer 2 connectivity. So you'll see that it's not like a typical switch. We don't have the concept of access and trunking, at least explicit in the configuration. We can kind of make it work in the same sense, but this is just very basic layer 2 support, basic link bonding, whereas with Open vSwitch, we have things like access ports, trunk ports. We can support link aggregation protocol. We could run multi-tenancy on a single open virtual switch, whereas with Linux bridging, we would need a separate bridge for each tenant. We also have support for things like VXLAN and GRE within Open Virtual Switch. Open Virtual Switch is more complex as far as management goes, but it is a more robust implementation. We're not going to mess with that in this video. We're going to stick strictly to the Linux bridge implementation. So with that being said, when we create our new bridge, we're going to create this as a Linux bridge. We can name this VMBR1, and we want this to be VLAN-aware, and then we can click Create. All right, now that I've added this bridge interface, I need to apply this configuration. Once that is applied, we can start configuring our pfSense firewall. So in our lab, what we end up doing here is we're going to have our pfSense firewall. We're going to use VMBR0, the default interface, connecting into our WAN network. So in my case, it's 172.16.16.0. And then we've created the new LAN facing bridge, so bridge 1, VMBR1, which is going to be facing our Kali Linux and Ubuntu machines. We're going to configure VLAN 100 and VLAN 200 as part of that new bridge, and we'll associate each VM to one of those, in this case Ubuntu to 100, Kali Linux to 200. They would come into a single port on our pfSense firewall. So when we look at the changes we need to make here, first we need to add the LAN interface to our pfSense firewall and associate it to VMBR1. Next, we will configure the sub-interfaces on the pfSense LAN to accommodate VLANs 100 and 200. And then lastly, we'll configure our two virtual machines to participate in their respective VLANs, which will allow communication between the 3 nodes. I'll now come into my pfSense firewall. I'll need to shut this down, make sure that it's in a shutdown state. I can't add another network adapter while the VM is running. Once it's shut down, I'll come into hardware. I'll click Add, Network Device. I'll select VMBR1. I'll click Add, and then I can start my machine. From there, I can go into the console. I'll accept the license agreement. We want to install pfSense. Our WAN interface will be VTnet0. We'll leave this as DHCP for now. And then for our LAN interface assignment, I'll assign VTnet1. And this is the default IP configuration. We are good with this. We can set up the new IP for our new VLANs once we get to that point, but we'll leave this for now. 192.168.1.1 will be the interface IP on our firewall, and then this is the DHCP range that gets assigned to any VMs that are on that native VLAN. So we'll click OK, continue, and then this will continue through our installation process. While this is going on, I can go over to my Kali Linux VM, and what we'll do here is we'll go into the hardware, we'll go to our network device, and we're going to edit this, and we're going to move our Kali Linux VM to the new bridge, VMBR1. We'll click OK. And then we can go into the console. All right, on our Kali Linux setup, I'll go to graphical install. We can pick our language, country, keyboard layout. We can change our host name. I'll change mine to uproot Kali. Our username, in my case, is going to be uproot. And I can set my password. All right, and while this is going on, I'll go back and check my pfSense firewall to see where we're at. It says pfSense post-installation setup's done. So I'll go OK. And then we want to reboot the system. While it's rebooting, I'll go in and remove the disk drive like we did in the last video. So do not use any media. And now it should boot to the virtual disk. While it's rebooting, I'll again go back and check on Kali Linux. So here we'll set our time zone. We want to use the entire disk. All right, and then this will take a few minutes. Over here, it looks like our firewall is up and running now. So we'll take note of these two IP addresses. 172.16.16.55 is my WAN interface. So here I am on the 172 network. So I'm at 172.16.16.54, it looks like. And our firewall is .55. Right now, this is not reachable for me. And it's because there's a firewall policy by default which blocks inbound connectivity on the WAN interface. So just to validate I have reachability to my gateway, I know that's good. It's the firewall policy that's blocking me. So what I need to do here is come in from the LAN side, 192.168.1.1. And that's why we put our Kali Linux VM on the bridge 1 so that it has connectivity into the LAN side of the firewall. Now that that's finally completed, we can click continue here. And then lastly, we'll have to do the same thing where we disconnect the CD media. So I'll come into hardware, I'll select CD DVD drive, edit, do not use any media, OK, and then we can come back into the console. We're going to log in with the username and password that we set up. In our terminal, we can see if we run the ifconfig command, we'll see here that we're receiving a 192.168.1 address. That means that it's coming from our firewall. So we can open up our browser here. From our browser, we can navigate to https 192.168.1.1. And this will take us to our pfSense login page. Default login is admin, the password is pfSense. And this will take us through a brief setup tutorial. I'll add a primary and secondary DNS server, change the time zone to, in my case, Mountain Time. I'm going to leave my WAN interface as DHCP. And then down here at the bottom, I want to disable this block private networks from entering via WAN. Click Next. We can leave this as the default LAN interface pool, and then it will force us to set a new password. Click Reload, and then Finish. All right, first thing we want to do is we want to open up the WAN interface so that we can manage this outside of the Proxmox console. So we'll come into Firewall and then Rules. We're going to add a new WAN side rule. So we'll click Add. I want this source. In my case, it's going to be WAN subnets, which is 172.16.16.0, are able to manage this firewall. And then I'm going to click Save, and then I'll click Apply Configuration. I should now be able to come over here and open up a new tab and navigate to 172.16.16.55. And then I should be able to log in using admin and the password that I just set up. Now I would like to come in here and I want to start configuring my two VLANs. So I'm going to come into Interfaces. I'll go to Assignments. And then I'm going to create two VLANs. So I'll navigate to VLANs and I'll click Add. So when creating our VLANs, we're going to come in here, we'll select VTNet1 as our LAN interface. We'll do VLAN 100 and we'll name this Ubuntu VLAN 100. We'll do the same thing for our Kali Linux VLAN, except in this case, we'll do VLAN tag 200. We'll name this Kali VLAN 200. We'll click Save. Now that our VLANs are created, we'll come over here to Interface Assignments, and we'll select our first one, VT1.100. We'll add, and then we'll do the same thing for VT1.200, VLAN 200. We'll add that as well. We'll save this. We can then go into each option here. So VLAN 100, we're going to set the static IP addressing as 192.168.100.1. We'll do /24. We'll save. We'll then go into this option 2, so VLAN 200. Again, set this as static IP, and we're going to do 192.168.200.1/24. We'll use that third octet to identify what VLAN we're in. We'll click Save, and then we'll apply these changes. We'll need to go into each of these interfaces, and we need to enable them. So enable interface, save, apply changes. And then we'll go into the second VLAN 200. We'll enable this interface as well. Save, apply changes. Now we can go into DHCP server. We're going to enable the DHCP server for VLAN 100, and then we'll set the pool as 192.168.100.10 up to .150. Save that. We'll go into VLAN 200 and do the same thing. Again, changing the third octet to reflect VLAN 200. Then we'll save, and then we will apply changes for the DHCP servers. I've also gone into my firewall rules. So firewall rules, so I'll go in here and I'll clone this rule. I want to allow outbound connectivity from VLAN 100. So I'm going to match on, in this case, it would be option 1 subnets. And we're going to change this description to allow VLAN 100 to any. We'll click Save, and then we'll apply that change as well. I'll come back into my Proxmox console. So I'm on my Ubuntu VM currently. I'm going to log into this virtual machine, and I'm looking at the IP config. So right now I have an IP from 192.168.1, means the native VLAN. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into hardware and change this. So I'll select my network device, I'll click edit, then I'm going to change my VLAN tag to 100. And I should be on the VM bridge 1, VLAN tag 100. I'll click OK. I'll come back into my console, and I'll again check the IF config. I now see that I am coming from 192.168.100.10. Do ping google.com. I see that I am resolving, and I'm seeing responses for my ping. That means I can also hit my gateway, obviously. And because I'm allowed to contact anybody, I should be able to hit the native VLAN gateway as well. I'll come into my Kali Linux VM. I'll open my terminal. I'll check my config here. Again, I'm on the native VLAN. I'm going to change this one as well. Select my network device, click edit. We're going to put this one on VLAN 200. Click OK. Come back and run the same command. And I see I have an IP from the 200 DHCP server, VLAN 200 DHCP server. I will try to ping google.com, and I see that there's no response. I'll try to ping my Ubuntu machine, and I again see that there's no response. And that's because the firewall is blocking this. So we've allowed connectivity from the Ubuntu VLAN to any, but we have not allowed connectivity from VLAN 200 to any. So in my Ubuntu VM, while I could not ping from Kali to Ubuntu, I should be able to ping from Ubuntu to Kali. So a quick recap here. We see our pfSense firewall with our WAN interface. This is the same thing as VM bridge 0. And then we have these two down here on bridge 1, VLANs 100 and VLANs 200. We see that DHCP is working. We see that we can connect from Ubuntu to Kali, but we cannot do the reverse, Kali to Ubuntu, and that's simply because we have to route through the firewall. Because these are in two different layer 3 domains, meaning two different networks, .100.0/24 and .200.0/24, they cannot connect to each other through that layer 2 bridge. They need to be routed, which is why we're sending traffic all the way to the firewall. And because we've inserted the firewall in that process, we're able to apply policy between these two virtual machines. I hope you found this video useful and you continue to stick around for the rest of this lab exercise. In part 3, we're going to go through how to set up port forwarding so that we can manage Ubuntu and Kali Linux outside of the Proxmox console. We can SSH directly to those machines from a different network. We'll take a look at setting up URL filtering within pfSense, and then I'll show you how that actually works using packet capture tools that are built into Ubuntu and Kali Linux. See you next time.